Hey guys, welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi guys.
And tonight we will be reviewing the animated special called Creepshow.
Well, it's actually called a Creepshow Animated Special if you're looking for it online. It was done in 2020. How new can you get?
Yeah, it happened just probably last month in October, where during the Christmas time.
That is new, isn't it?
And it was pretty awesome where I stand.
Now, there's not a lot that's been said about, there's not a lot of background stuff on an animated feature sometimes. So this won't be a really, really, really long review, but we'll give it our best shot. Now, before
one of my friends asked me a while back whether or not it's similar to the Batman cartoons. When I said to him, no, it's not similar because the animation is sort of similar to comics, the actual Creepshow comics.
It's not. Well, you wouldn't do it. How do you say? It's not a moving animation the way you'd normally expect it to be. Like they use panels and stuff.
Yeah,
is that right
and
word?
their voice, and you hear, and they do the make sure the characters' voices, kind of match along with the actor who does the voiceover.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, you've got some interesting people involved. So I will go through producing and directing, and I'll just mention just two of the people involved with the voices. Okay? Okay, well, we won't go through everybody. Okay, now, directed by Greg Nicotero. That name's been around. Was he in the other creep shows as well? I can't remember. I know his name. Anyway, written by Stephen King, Joe Hill.
Joe Hill, just so you guys may or may not remember, was Stephen King's son.
You're using a pen name.
Yes, and he also appeared in the movie Creepshow back in, 1982, where he plays the little boy.
Reading the comics.
You may have heard me mention it a while back when we did the review on the Creepshow TV series just this year alone.
Actually, Stephen King was in himself, wasn't he? Didn't he play that your local yokel farmer guy who got turned into a grass creature or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
And shot himself.
Anyway, I was saying Stephen King, Joe Hill, Melanie Dale, and Greg Nicotero. Greg does get around, doesn't he? Wait a minute. Produced by a lot of people. Maybe up to almost 20 people, I think. And Greg Nicotero is also in there as executive producer. But there's lots of people involved in this production. So it wasn't just a quick flash in the pan job.
No, I mean, we do get to see, way to the beginning, in the opening, the guy who portrays the creepy skeleton corpse guy who introduces the comic or the story.
Now, I don't...
one person mistook him for the crypt keeper. I think he's not familiar with the Tales of the Crypt, so I'm not going to go say something nasty about that.
What's that?
Oh, just some person commented on the actual, this upcoming animated special of Creepshow, and they just called the creature there the Crypt Master. Don't blame me. I'm sorry, John Cassier. This is not my doing.
Hey, John, there's only one crypt keeper, and that's you, son.
Yes.
Anyway, the cast. Now, there's not a real cast, obviously, but the voice actors included Keith Sutherland and Joey King. They were the main voices. Actually, there was only really two voices, wasn't there? They did like a narration almost through each.
Throughout these cartoons, it's like from the little voice inside the characters each heads, or something.
It's like telling the story through their head, through their eyes, sort of thing. So there's only two voices in the whole lot. So that's it. Keith Sutherland was in one, and Joey King did the second one. And quite interesting little stories they are as well.
Yeah. So who stars or does the voices for it? I mean.
Well, Keith Sutherland. I just said that he does the first one with the guy on the island, which you're going to talk about in a moment.
Yeah, and the other one for the other story that was done by Joe Hill is actually Joey King. No relation to Stephen King or Joe Hill, just so you guys know.
Or B.B. King.
Well, I just think they should know. The audience must know that this person here is not
It's not a family job.
not another family member. So you guys know. Okay.
However, moving right along, he said.
Yes.
I can't think of too much else I could say at the moment because, there's not a lot of information on it.
No.
Obviously, it was made for television, and all I can say is the animation, the work by the animating team. There's quite a few people involved in that as well. There was, I think, about 8 people involved in the animation side of it, and it looks like a comic put on TV.
Yeah, I could just visualize it in my own head. What it would look like if it was actually a comic.
So lots of little panels and stuff, but it works. I mean, it's different, so it works. If everybody was doing it, it might not be so good. But it's not being done by everybody, so it's in some ways it's new and innovative, but also going back to old school.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I might get into the story. So the first story in this, it's as we said before, it's it's sort of 2 stories in one. So it's another anthology special we have on our hands. So I'll start talking.
I'll tell about the first one of the Keith Sutherland narrates.
Yeah, this one is called Survival Type. And it's about a doctor who is washed on a deserted island.
Yep. After his boat goes down, he has a big ocean liner.
Yeah, totally Titanic. Or whatever.
Glug, 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 glug.
So, anyway, he's stuck there and he's writing in his journal or diary, a detailed account of what's happening to him and his past. Like, he was a doctor, he came from a rough side of the town of his life, and he tried to get into university to become a doctor.
He's a bit bent. He did naughty things, but along the way...
Yeah, he starts selling narcotics, drugs, you name it.
Made
he
a few
did
dollars
it.
on the side, as it were.
Yeah.
He had a good career, prospects, but he had a thing for money.
Yes.
So yeah.
Anyway, he eventually was going to take these drugs back to on the ship, and it went down. Yeah. And now he's surviving on seagulls and whatever he could scrape off the rocks to eat.
And there's very little water, so gradually what's happening is he's slowly starving to death. He's eating raw seagulls, and he had a little bit of water in a lifeboat or something or other.
Yeah.
He had 3 canisters of water, and that's all he's had. And there's no water on this desert island.
And he's been trying to signal planes with those usual big help signs.
Yeah, he got all these rocks and put help written on the sand, but no one's noticing it.
Yeah, I think the planes are too far up to notice. Considering how far up that would be.
How come Jack Sparrow gets rescued and this guy can't?
I don't know.
I don't know.
So anyway, maybe.
Whatever.
So eventually he takes steps to survive, and I'm not going to tell you the end because it's too gruesome and too weird.
You can tell bits of it.
But all I know is that he ends up breaking his leg, and then he amputates it, and he starts thinking about alternate ways of feeding himself. And
wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
Yes, and I'm not going to say any more at this point because I'm going to leave it up to you, the audience, to work out what I mean.
I could actually say something, but it might give it away.
Yes,
but
there's too much
just
gory details
there
here.
was a severe lack of food where he was, and he came up with an ingenious idea on how to get some food to help stay alive. How's that?
Yeah. Anyway, so I'll move on to the next story, which is called, let me see, it's called Twitting from the Circus of the Dead.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, this is Joe Hill's story.
He's not a bad one.
And as I give you examples, guys, in the past, in script writing and writing, other stuff, they often say, that to make a script, use things from what you know. In this case, this is something we are familiar with, social media, stuff like that.
Exactly, she was twittering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this narration, and this girl...
Something like the birdies do. No, sorry.
Shut up.
Tweet.
So, anyway, the person in this one, she's in a car, and she's with her folks, and she's twitting on her phone about the boring stuff that she's dealing with her family.
Boring as bats, whatever, you know.
Whatever.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, but I won't tell you the ending for this because it's too good.
However,
Or
you
anyway.
can tell the bits of it, but not everything.
Well, they go a long trip.
They go to Colorado, or so where are they going to?
Colorado, I think.
Yeah, anyway, this desert highway sort of
Yeah,
thing.
they originally were going to go to the mountains to ski, but something goes. It was too cold, so out of this,
went down the lowlands
they
area.
decided to go to
through a desert
Colorado.
sort of area,
Yeah.
and the road's been detoured. The detour sign it, and they go off a different direction, and they find this circus.
Circus of the Dead.
And they
And it's no secret amongst the characters. It says Circus of the Dead.
but they don't know it's a circus of the dead for
Yeah.
real. They think, oh, what a quaint name.
Yeah,
you know,
and they think it's all done by using prosthetic limbs and
stuff,
special
and good
effects
acting
makeup.
and stuff, and whatever.
And special effects, obviously.
yeah, that sort of stuff. And as things start to unroll,
So anyway,
they find out not so. But I mean, okay, we're not going to say anything more because it is brand new, and it'd be really good for you guys to watch it.
yeah, the ending will surprise you.
And it's downloadable, isn't it, on YouTube?
Yeah, you can download it on
yeah, so
YouTube.
it's a
Well,
fr-
no, you cannot download.
can't.
I've been trying to find where you can get it. I mean, the only place you can get it is on Stream Shudder.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, if you guys have it, congrats on you. But if you have to, you may have to start looking for an alternative place to go.
Okay.
Get it,
What
borrow it.
Stream Shuttle, what's that one?
It's another stream place where you can just go in
You
and
become a member or
check
something,
out
do
movies and TV shows and
you
whatever
have to be
comes to mind.
a member or
Yes,
subscriber
you have
or
to be a
something,
member.
Okay. Does it cost anything?
I don't know. I haven't bothered to check it out because I don't like spending money on streams.
Well, we just watched it. How'd you get it?
I don't know. We're not froggy. So
Maybe
anyway,
we're very lucky.
so interesting facts in these movies. In the first story we looked at, it has a brief cameo cartoon of Stephen King in this.
Sitting on the front porch with the main star of the cartoon as a younger man.
Yes, it kind of looks like him. I mean, once I started to see his face, I thought he looked familiar, and then I pieced it together from old photos that it looks like Stephen King.
You know what? You think about it, Stephen King often pops into a Stephen King movie as a bit of a cameo here
Yeah,
and
sometimes
there.
as a character, or if you looked at the old Creepshow movie, you see him as the main character.
He was in that one, the farmer guy who got
Yeah.
attacked by the alien
And if you've
grass
seen
or whatever.
if you've seen Overdrive, the that movie he did a bit of a trailer, official trailer, movie trailer thing for that one.
And he was in Rose Red. He delivered pizzas.
Yes, well that's just a cameo, obviously.
I just said he's been bits and pieces. He pops in occasionally.
Yeah, and in that Twitter from the Circus of the Dead, there is a product placement of the very comic that appears in the original, the original comic from the Creepshow movie
Creepshow one?
that was done in 1982.
The original first movie.
The first
Okay,
one.
wow.
Because
There
the
you
comic
go.
looked familiar. It had the same dead body coming out of the grave and stuff. Yeah, if you've seen the first movie, you know which cover I'm thinking of.
I must go and watch those again. I really enjoy those early Creepshow movies.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's an interesting special, and I highly recommend you guys check it out if it's still on Shudder. I'm not sure if they do a sort of you keep it on there until they feel
whatever.
it's ready
Say,
to move on,
hurry, get on your computers now, guys. Have a look.
or television,
Well,
whatever.
who knows? It might be on there, and it might be there for a while. So, I mean, why put it on and take it off?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have told me that in Disney's Plus or Netflix, they would often remove things when they don't feel like it's being watched enough, or if it's they want to move on to other movies.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
It's happened with when they do the odd Christmas movies, and some people even complain that they just removed them without even realizing that maybe other people may want to watch them
actually,
during the middle of Christmas
that
time.
is something. It's really interesting. You mentioned Christmas, but it's coming near Christmas now, guys. So, When I was growing up, there used to be lots of movies on TV with Christmas themes, Scrooge and that sort of, Christmas Carol, that sort of stuff. And you don't see them as much nowadays. I mean, have we been desensitised as a population of this planet? Is it, it's not socially acceptable? You might offend somebody. Well, how about all the people who want to see it? Aren't we being offended by not being given the product? It's. You might get a love story thrown in there around Christmas time or something, but you're not getting a real Christmas movie.
I think, let me see, which one is that comic that, I'm thinking of
Comic.
that, not the comic, the greeting card manufacturer, the famous.
Hallmark.
Yeah, Hallmark.
Yeah.
They do the odd Christmas special movie here and there, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Even the odd one about romance, like ones about girl meets guy, turns out to be a prince, and they turn out to get married.
That's what I'm saying. I'd really rather get not all of them. Well, look, A Wonderful Life of James Stewart. That sort of stuff. A guy who was, everything was falling apart, and an angel comes along, and that sort of stuff. Some really stuff which touches on the magic of Christmas, and not just oh, I'm in love with somebody, isn't that lovely? And it's Christmas time. Let's have a pudding. It doesn't make a Christmas putting a pudding on the table or a turkey. I mean, it's just in a bit of snow. There's no Christmas feel to it. I mean, we're in Australia. It's a Christian country. America's a Christian country. There's a lot of Christian countries there. Why are we walking away from Christian-based movies? Interesting. Just a thought, guys. I mean, I'm not on a soapbox about religion here, but there seems to be something lacking when you come into this festive season, and a lot of people don't even call it Christmas. They say Happy Holiday Season instead of Happy Christmas.
Or Xmas.
No, well, forget the Xmas. That's the spelling of it. But that's a Happy Holiday Season instead of Happy Christmas. What's wrong with Christmas? It's a Christmas holiday. It's a Christian holiday. Christmas is based on Christ's name. So why are we being desensitised and taken away from?
Yes, I see where you're coming from, Mike. I mean, and I do agree with you on that extent. And it does annoy me that some people often think that remove even the most well-known cartoons out there that had me growing up with them. I remember watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer when I was
and the little donkey, little drummer boy, all those little things are great for kids to learn about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I keep on coming up with excuses like, oh, that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer deals with bullying.
He was bullied by the other one, so it's not social acceptable.
You're going to realise that bullying is a real thing. You can't just
but everyone loved him in the end.
Ignore it.
How about the Ugly Duckling? Is he still around? No.
Then again, we've discussed it, Mike, and a lot the odd chance a lot of people often think that's a very desensitized story to young women as well as probably men.
Point. What I'm saying is they had some nice innocent stories and they've been taken away because, well, we don't like them. Well, okay. When I was growing up in Australia, we used to have Disneyland on, I think, every Sunday night.
Yeah.
And every second week you'd have cartoons, and the alternate week you have a movie or a part one and part two, or a movie or whatever.
I remember.
And they were great family viewing, and all of a sudden they said, oh, nobody's watching that stuff anymore, and they took it off TV.
Yeah. I remember when they would often show the old House of Mouse episodes, and I remember those. I remember the costume figures of Mickey and Minnie and all the other characters, and I remember the guest hosts, obviously, and it was so great to watch them. So
some Halloween specials and different things. They're great fun.
I agree.
But it's all gone. Yeah, maybe I'm a dinosaur and I miss the old days. I don't know. But
I can't blame you, Mike. I mean, I used to watch this stuff too on Saturday and Sunday, and I kind of miss it.
But animated, I like, and we're losing some of the other good groovy things out there. So
I think I do wish that we didn't have the stream thing. I mean, I miss old television.
There's nothing on streaming. Please don't get me wrong. I mean, you got things like Stan, you got Netflix, and all the other good groovy things.
But then there's
a place for them.
Yeah, but then the old television
it
disappears mostly when you look at old television.
Oh, it's not commercial anymore. We're not. Who said?
True.
Music changes for the same reason. we're going to put something else out, and they put a new style of music out there, and they force on everybody and say, this is new style of music for the young people. And the new young people start listening to the new stuff.
Yeah.
And they forget about the old stuff.
Yeah, I've been looking at the other remakes of my favourite cartoons. I even saw some the other day, and just for food for thought to figure out what makes these cartoons as good as the ones I watched as a kid. And there was a couple of things I didn't really like about it because they were too straight-laced stuff.
Boring.
Well, it's just that there was one where I was watching DuckTales, the new one, and it looked too much like, I don't know, it relates to adult stuff, and I'm not even sure.
Yeah, so it's supposed
Like,
for kids. Yeah.
like social media and stuff like that. I'm not gonna bring my kids on social media until they come when they come to 14 or 15, or at least until they know
mature enough how to use it properly.
Until they know the difference between not interacting with people online and know the difference between
all the creeps out there, all nasty people who just want to take them down and stuff.
Social bullying, stuff like that.
Exactly, cyberbullying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrong. Anyway, that's enough of our venting. So there's not much to say about this movie. This animated feature.
My sister and I watched a few of the those new cartoons. We think that they're taking them in the wrong direction. They keep making
They're too adult.
Yeah, I think sometimes these cartoon writers, they forgot to be what it's like to be a child.
Exactly right. You look at Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. It was written by adults, for adults, but the kids could appreciate it.
Yeah.
Or they wrote it for kids, but the adults could appreciate it. Yeah, so it's fun. But anyway, same as Mickey Mouse. Or Mr. Toad, Ichabod Crane, all the good stuff.
But they were still kid-related and...
But families could watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Ichabod Crane has always really scared me when I was young.
The pumpkin bit at the end. Oh, smashing.
Yeah.
Smashing pumpkins. Hey, good band. Anyway,
I often...
What? What's the matter?
Nothing. I mean, anyway, should we rate this special now?
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Cartoons. I can't say, hey, I can say, a good direction, good continuity. The graphics are wonderful. The artists involved are very, very good.
I do like the differences. Instead of just doing it like everyone else's cartoons, they did it for a different direction.
Yeah, back in the olden days, when I was a kid, they used to do something similar to using that sort of stuff. And it was an inexpensive way to make a cartoon. But the animation back in those days was pretty basic. It was pretty much like photographing a comic page and bung it on the screen and doing the voiceover. But this is, next level. It's good stuff, good artwork. So, like, for the artwork, the direction, the continuity, the interest, I found it enjoyable. Suspenseful in the same way for a cartoon as well.
Yeah, it maintained the
It wasn't made for children. It was made for adults. It's an adult thing.
Graphic novel.
And it felt great. So, like a gothic novel or something,
Graphic novel.
Graphic novel, but graphic and also gothic-y. There's a bit of a horror theme in it. So I reckon I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, how's that?
I think so. I think I'll give it a bit of a 9 out of 10 too.
Didn't you mention something about Stephen King mentioning George Romero as well?
Yes, but he says it's special thanks to George A. Romero.
Yeah.
Just not to confuse him with his son, just so you know.
George A., the one who started the cheap horror flicks. I don't mean cheap in a nasty way
Well,
either.
it's just that George Romero Sr., he first started working on the first Creep shows with dear old Stephen King, in the first movies.
Yeah. But we know where George came from. He started off doing those things like Night of the Living Dead movies.
Yeah, but he worked on it.
But he did it on a limited budget.
True.
Really limited, and he did a reasonably good product. Actually, didn't we find out somewhere some time back that Alfred Hitchcock was impressed with what George did on a shoestring budget?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he tried to do the same thing when he did Psycho. Interesting.
Agreed.
There you go then. See, even someone like Alfred Hitchcock's got to take his hat off to George Romero.
Yeah.
So good on you, George. And
Actually,
George Jr.
it wasn't George Romero. It was actually the guy who did House on Haunted Hill, the original. I mean,
He said it was George Romero.
no, no, no. I meant um, no, it wasn't George Romero. It was actually the guy Castle that
William
inspired
Castle.
Alfred Hitchcock.
I thought George Romero did as well.
I don't think so.
You sure?
I'm positive. I was just thinking just a while ago that about
Well, William
these.
Castle still did cheap movies too. I mean, inexpensive movies. Sorry. Yeah. So, but yeah, guys like that who could turn a movie on a shoestring budget, not bad. Cannot complain. There you go then.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
I can't think of anything else to say. Otherwise, I'm going
yeah.
to start boring everybody.
yeah, I don't want to bore anyone with my petty complaints about the modern cartoons these days. I mean, there's just too many of them trying to make the Disney ones too much three-dimensional. I mean, they're making it too abstract.
Abstract? What do you mean?
Well,
I've been watching that. I've been watching them. You mean a bit weird, like hard to follow? You mean?
Yeah, it's just hard to follow. It's not even kid related. I mean, even kid related, you know what you want to have. Like, you want it to be kid related. You want kids to.
Then in a bit of innocence still in there.
Yeah, a little bit of innocence.
Yeah.
Like,
No, fair enough.
I remember in the old DuckTales, it inspired kids to go out and have fun, not
and
just
play.
yeah, and have fun, all that stuff.
Experiment. Doing things, climbing trees, catching frogs, whatever. All the things we did when we were young.
Yeah, all the real and dealing with real problems that some kids may have here and there.
Right, yeah.
Like in one episode, I remember a while back when in DuckTales, one of I think it was Huey, was going through a problem with the fact that that no one ever understands that no one understands which one is which.
Huey, and Louie.
Yeah.
They do look similar.
Yeah, they all do. They wear different shirts, but everyone keeps
got
confused.
3 little white ducklings.
Yeah, but he gets a hard time dealing with the fact that everyone mistakes him for
His brothers.
his brothers. Here and there.
Actually, that's interesting. I mean, considering they all look exactly the same.
True.
Yeah. Never thought about that. Now you look at Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. Apart from the eyelashes and the skirt, is there really much difference?
Good one.
Aha.
Anyway, they do. I mean, I do like it when they deal with real life problems, and sometimes they have a message to convey across to kids.
Yeah.
I like that even more too.
It's good to be yourself, but be prepared for a few knocks along the way. But everything will work out in the end. Hey, yeah, it's good stuff. Anyway, let's wrap it, kiddo.
Yeah.
This is a short one today because there's not much to say about this one, but if you can
But it doesn't mean we don't like it or dislike
it. Isn't too much to say about the producers and director. We can't talk about the sets or the location shoots because there isn't any.
And not to mention, there isn't very much online because every time I try to tap in Creepshow Animated Special, I keep coming up with the movie and the TV series that happened not too long ago.
Yeah, I managed to get some of your IMDb and a few things, but there's only a couple of words here and there and a few people's names. There's very little about it, so yeah, it's really hard. Anyway, irrespective, have a go. What did you say the site was?
Shudder.
Shudder. And there might be it could be another YouTube-y type things or out there. I don't know what they all are. Have a look around. It's worth a look. We've got a copy of it.
Yes.
So yeah, it's good value.
All right. Thanks for listening to this latest podcast, guys, and we'll talk to you guys very soon. This is Sarah Stephenson.
And I'm the other one, Michael.
Saying, see you guys around.
Bye.
Bye.